What? I got shit on my face?
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast for which worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
That's not
Delivery might have been a little different.
That's not an actual line of the movie, is it? Did I miss that part?
Evan Peters, yeah.
Evan Peters. Ugh.
Yep.
Love it.
The only funny person in the movie.
Well, you have to have someone who's going to be funny and then die, right?
That's right.
All right. So we're back with our full breakdown of the Lazarus Effect, which we know, as we discussed in the trailer trash, you shouldn't do.
Right.
Put that down. Stop that.
If it's dead, it stays dead.
Yeah.
That's a good rule.
Right. Yes. That's. I think that's not even a safety tip. That's just. No.
That's just laws of nature.
Yes. If it's dead, it stays dead. Move along. All right. So we're back. Yeah. Lazarus Effect. Do you want to? Do you want to give a reminder of what this movie's about?
Yeah, I mean, we already said it, but basically that. So a group of medical researchers discover a way to bring dead patients back to life.
Yeah.
I don't think that's super accurate.
Well, yeah, I know it is. I mean, they bring a dead dog back, a dead pig back, and a dead human back. Those are patients.
Sure. Right? Well, are they patient? That's where I'm like, I know that was kind of the intent, but I think they're mixing in the intent. I don't know. It's a fine log line.
It's, you know what it is? It's short and sweet, like this movie. An hour and 23 minutes. Beauty.
Good point.
Beauty. Right?
It's what you want in a bad movie.
So good. Which is going to be funny. I can't wait till we get to our ameliorate section because I think it should be longer. But spoilers for later.
Oh, no.
Our expectations and what we thought from the trailer, prognosticate.
I was kind of right.
I think I was too, actually. Because, didn't we go with, I forget what you said. Because I
said it turns into like a Passion of the Christ thing where Mark Duplass dies and gets resurrected.
Yes.
And sure enough.
And I think I was going with like an Army of the Dead type of thing where they're just going to bring a bunch of everything back to life and spoilies. But
we were both right.
Wait to the end of this movie. I want to punch this movie so hard in the face at the end of it. I was so pissed. But
truly a nightmare ending. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst kind of ending of all time. It's not even an ending. It's like
it's a sequel setup.
Yeah. It's not even an ending. It's just like end the story, man.
It's a you wait for the Lazarus Effect 2.
Which will never happen, never did, which is kind of crazy because this movie made money.
Unbelievable.
Lots of money. All right. Cool. So we actually did pretty good with our prognostications, which I mean, come on, we always do good. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, this time we're right. Usually we do a good job.
Right. But we're nowhere actually near what the movie is, but we did a good job. Plus, we nailed it in the movie.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. You want some quick info?
Yes, please. Right. And thank you.
Okay. So director is David Gelb.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Right on.
That's all you got. So
he's the chef's table guy, right?
Yes, he is. He's
weird.
So he's got more credits as a producer. But wait until you hear what he. So he's only written a few things, but man, what a weird background he's got as a director. So he's produced a bunch of stuff, but as a writer, he's only written 6 things, kind of like episodes of like TV shows, Street Food Asia, Street Food Latin America. Okay, that's fine. Chef's Table, he's big into food apparently.
Yep. Big food guy, documentary guy.
Yeah. So documentary guy. So director, he's kind of weirdly tucked into the Marvel universe in a way.
Weird.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Or I shouldn't say Marvel, but like the Disney thing. So he's done Marvel 616, which is a TV series, only 1 episode. Chef's Table, which you said. Chef's Table's France, which is great. Obi-Wan Kenobi: A Jedi's Return, which is a documentary about the making of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series on Disney.
Weird.
Yeah, I know, right? He's doing like a thing. He's got this thing that came out, I guess, last year. Stan Lee. I think it's like, I don't know much about it, but probably documentary about him. Yeah.
What? He did Jiro Dreams of Sushi? That's like one of my favorite documentaries of all time.
Boom. Nailed it, right?
Incredible.
Yeah. So a lot of documentary stuff. So then, but his first thing he did. But then this is where it gets really crazy. 2002, his first credited thing on IMDb. He did this thing called a short called Lethargy.
Lethargy?
Lethargy. No, lethargic.
I think I'd say lethargy. You say lethargic, but lethargy is like the noun.
I hate the English language. God damn it.
English stinks. I know.
It's the worst. I'm so sorry for people who are learning it. So this was his first thing he did, a credit on IMDb, right? It's a short. Yeah. And I looked this up. I was like, what? So lethargy. Huh. We're going with that. Directed by David Gelb and Josh Safdie of the Safdie brothers. You know who the Safdie brothers, right? Who did like Uncut Gems and like the one with what's his
that new show, The Curse, with Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone.
Oh, really? I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, it was just Benny, I think, on his own.
But still, all right, I'm all in, right?
So good timing for us to promo this.
Beauty. So
this guy's third party related to the Safdies.
Yeah.
Tangentially related. Yeah.
Yeah. So like him and Josh Safdie wrote and directed this short in 2002 with Robert Downey Jr. and Ed Burns.
What?
Yes. And it's a postmodern dark comedy about a lazy teenage male who struggles to find his element. I mean, all right, that's stupid, but he is helped along the way by an animal therapist, Robert Downey Jr., and a store clerk, Ed Burns. What?
I mean, it sounds interesting, I guess.
But like what?
Weird. My mind is boggled.
You've been boggled.
You boggled me.
I boggled you. So yeah, so David Gelb, he's been around here just doing random stuff, but mostly documentaries. Cool. And then documentary. Did I say that weird? Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, then he did this one in the middle here in 2015. 15. Wow.
Well, then a hearty fuck you. And if you want to be on the podcast, David Gelb, I like this guy.
I'm kind of right. I'm kind of in too. Like maybe we'll reach out to me. Like, hey, you should be on this little this tiny podcast. I mean,
yeah. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. This super successful tiny little podcast.
I mean, we average 35, 40 downloads an episode. So
that's right.
Just saying, which I think is good. That's good, right? That's good. Yeah. So yeah. So directed by David Gelb. There you go. Now, writers, that's because that's the next thing we're going to do right here. Writers. So we got Luke Dawson and Jeremy Slater. Now, these guys, so Luke Dawson.
Dawson's Creek fame?
Yeah, Luke Dawson. What a name. Luke Dawson. That's a pretty hard
It's a cool name.
Yeah, it sounds like a Hollywood name. It sounds like it's made up.
Yep. Definitely made up.
Yeah.
It's the Luke Cage of this writers team.
Right. So he's done jack shit. Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, he's done three things. He did a short back in 2003, 2008. He did this movie called Shudder. Don't know what that's about. It looks like a horror movie.
I think I saw that.
And 2015, Lazarus Effect. And then since then, he's probably like, you know what? Maybe I should go back to shoveling shit. Yeah.
So smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely saw that movie.
Now, Jeremy Slater, the other guy, he's done...
Related to Christian?
No. He's done a lot of, not a lot, but he's done some stuff that is of note. So this was his first thing, the Lazarus Effect 2015. Fantastic, and then jumped right to Fantastic Four 2015 version, which was terrible, but like... Didn't
see it.
Still, you go from Lazarus Effect to right to Fantastic Four, who's like, yeah, we need this guy to write, you know? Which...
well, he pulled together a good... Well, maybe he helped pull together a good cast. Like maybe that's his in. He like knows.
Yeah, because the Fantastic Four had a great cast, but the movie was terrible, right?
Maybe he just like rolls around. He's like, "Oh yeah, Christian Slater's my brother," and people are like, "Oh, all right, let this guy in the party."
You keep saying that. I don't think he's ready to Christian Slater.
No, I'm saying that's what he lies about.
Oh,
to get into the parties.
Yes, right. Yes. So he did that, and it says he did some stuff on. Oh yeah, Moon Knight. Okay, yeah. So he's the Marvel guy actually. So in Netflix guy. So then he did Fantastic Four Pet, which I don't know what that is, and then in 27,
which is supposed to be bad, right?
It's supposed to be bad, but I know the graphic novel is like everyone loves it, right?
Yes,
it's a Netflix movie show, TV. I don't know. It's on Netflix. I know that, and I think the people, yeah. And people were like, "Oh, this is not what we wanted."
Maybe qualifies for the podcast. Ooh. I'm gonna check right now.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I'll continue what he's done. So since then, he kind of shifted from movies, his 4 movies, into TV. He did The Exorcist, which apparently the TV series, I didn't know that existed. 20 episodes.
Oh, yeah, that's supposed to be good.
Yeah, apparently very good. And Moon Knight, which I actually really liked on Netflix or Disney.
I like Moon Knight too. Yeah.
I thought that was great. He did 6 episodes of that, which is, I mean, the whole series was pretty short. It's only one season, right?
Wasn't the whole series 6 episodes?
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it like 6 or 8, maybe at the most? So
maybe, yeah.
And then he did the Umbrella Academy, which I really enjoyed.
I love.
Yeah. Netflix, right?
Yep.
I really love that show. And he developed by and did the old teleplay by 31 episodes from 2019 to 2024. So
teleplay. What does that even mean?
It's British.
Television, like it's just a show play?
Yeah, it's British. It's a British term.
Screenplay, but for TV.
Oh, that's the old teleplay. Yeah. That's
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Screenplay.
Death Note almost qualifies, not quite. 36% Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh man, maybe we can make an exception. So we can have a friend.
Maybe
we can have a friend of the pod. But anyways, yeah. So Jeremy Slater, what a weird set of credits, but he's done stuff and he's still working. So
like this movie's so good on paper. Like I feel like it's got interesting people writing, directing, acting, like great cast. Like what happens? But the idea is kind of interesting if you do it right.
Right? Bringing people back from the dead. I mean, it's in the Bible.
A tale as old as time. The Bible.
It's in the Bible. You have the Bible connection.
Frankenstein. The other Bible.
I mean, obviously, right? Frankenstein, you know?
Yep.
It's pronounced Frankenstein, you know?
Frankenstein, so, yeah.
It's all there, but it's all there. But they f***ed up. All right, so actors, who's in this? We got a very small cast, and very, very small. And this is pretty much everyone that's in this movie. So we got the Mark Duplass, right? He plays Frank.
We love.
He plays... Frankenstein's Frankenstein's monster. Like really? He's really okay. All right, let's settle down.
Yep.
No one's named Frank anymore. God damn it! Like who?
They sure aren't.
No. 2015. Let's see. He's probably 30 years old. No one's naming their kid back in the 90s, 80s Frank.
Actually, I have a friend from college named Frank.
No.
Yep.
Is he like 70 years old?
No, he's my age. He's like 34.
But he probably acts like he's 70, right? Oh, whoa, Jared, get off my lawn.
Does kind of act like he's 70. Great point. Big into communism. Big communism guy.
Oh, he's totally a Frank. He's like, all right, you know what we need back? We need to bring that communism back. It's like, all right, well, Frank, go easy, bud.
Yeah, he's a classic Frank. Shout out to Frank. I know you don't listen to the podcast because I haven't talked to you in 10 years.
Let's go find him. Let's bring him on and maybe interview him. Yeah.
He's an interesting guy.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure.
He was like motorcycling around the country for the last 10 years. That's why I haven't talked to him. Like camping and doing weird stuff. He's an artist. It's a whole thing.
Classic, right? Classic artist move. I'm just going to go scooter around fucking town.
Exactly. Living his best life.
Yeah, I mean, hey, do what you can do. All right. So we got Mark Duplass playing Frank. Frankenstein. Olivia Wilde. She plays Zoe.
Yeah.
A lot of fake sleeping in this movie.
A lot of bad fake sleeping.
Sarah Bolger. She plays Ava.
Okay.
We got Evan Peters plays Clay. Evan Peters. We know Evan Peters, right?
Big fan.
Yep, big fan. Donald Glover, big fan. Plays Nico.
Yep.
Ray Wise plays Mr. Wallace, aka I think that was Big Pharma, right?
Yep, I like that guy too.
I do too. Then we got is it Kato?
Yep, that's how I would pronounce that.
I was gonna say Kato because it's funnier, but
it is funnier.
So we got Kato plays Rocky the dog, and then Scott L. Traeger. Scott L. Traeger, Living Cadaver.
Oh, what a fun credit.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Like I want to be listed as a living cadaver someday.
Yeah. Like what a weird way to describe that character. I mean, that is what it is, but also like
oxymoron much.
Yeah.
Right. You can't
like, say like zombie or like, I don't know.
Yeah. Or like, living cadaver. It's a cadaver that's alive. So there you go.
I guess, yeah. It's more descriptive. I like it.
Yeah. Scott, nice job. Okay, let's get into some numbers here. So worldwide, this movie made $38.3 million.
Which is almost 10,000 Fanatics. Unbelievable.
Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of money. I mean, it is, but it doesn't sound like a lot of money in terms of movies. But all right, so domestic. Sure. This split was domestic, did about 25.8. Internationally, did 12.5. Video did another 3.1 million. Okay, so we're racking up there. On a budget of, now I got two different numbers here, but I think I figured this out. So the numbers.com, which is where I go to, to find these numbers on budgets and stuff. Said $5 million budget.
Okay.
Still successful. $38 million.
Wildly successful
on a $5 million budget. And then I went to
bagger.
And then I went to Wikipedia, which said 3.3 million. I think the 5 million is probably budget plus marketing, because usually the production, you want to do like half of, general rule of thumb, right? Half the production costs you do for marketing. So I would say 5 million total would probably be like the budget plus the marketing. But
that makes sense.
Still $5 million, which, by the way,
amazing.
That tracks. Like sometimes
I can't believe they spent that much on this.
I mean, that still seems a little high, but like it's still
flames, I guess. CGI flames.
I was gonna say the CGI and like some of the special effects and stuff. I mean, Olivia Wilde, and I mean, I don't think she's commanding a ton of money, but $5 million for that set of actors, like before they really hit their stride. But 2015, like they were all like,
this is post House. That's what I mean. Like they're all successful at this point. That's
right. Like
I was gonna get. I wasn't gonna say it in fast facts because it's stupid. I read an interview with the director, and he was like, "Oh, like to work with all these actors like that I know are going to be big time someday." And you're like, "They're big time right now. What do you, idiot?"
I mean, maybe. Well, I mean, 2015, Donald Glover. I mean, like
Childish Gambino, huge.
Well, yeah. I mean, his music career, but not like acting. Yeah. But like acting wise, he wasn't like. Right, 2015.
No, but he's like winning Grammys like before that, and like doing like he's very well known.
So he's got a name, right? Like, and Evan Peters was not what he is today.
Well,
2015, I don't think he was, right? Like,
American Horror Story had already started, and that's like I feel like his big thing.
That's true. Is that that's what? Yeah, that's right.
They've all done their like biggest work, I think, at this point.
Yeah, you're right. Like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Childish Gambino was Donald Glover's thing before this.
Enormous.
Yeah, that definitely was his thing. And then like after 2015, it kind of like skyrocketed, right? But like,
and Community was before this too.
Hey man, he did. Imagine that Donald Glover was in the Lazarus Effect, Ultimate Spider-Man, China IL. I don't know what that is. Magic Illinois. Mike XX. What? China Illinois. I don't know. That's China, is there a China, Illinois?
I mean, I'm assuming, but like, I don't know. Why would you?
I don't know. Like Illinois, I guess.
It's a state abbreviation.
I know. God damn it, Jared. I know that. But is there like you do that before?
There's a China, Maine. There's definitely a China, Illinois. There's a Paris, Maine.
That doesn't track. You can't be like, oh, there's a China, Maine. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
There's a China in every state.
I guess we're all tracked by China. Anyways, so 2015, he did this movie, Ultimate Spider-Man TV series, a couple episodes of China Internationally Large, and then Magic Mike XXL. He does a lot of things with, and then he was in The Martian in 2015, which I think is like,
he's crushing it, dude.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Huge.
Anyways, I forget we were going on something like this, but I forget.
We're talking about how I was saying how the director was like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to see all these people blow up someday." You're like, they've
already blown up. Like,
yes.
And you made a shitty movie with a bunch of actors who already blown up. Like,
yeah, you're cashing in on these actors who are at the prime of their career somehow in this horrible movie.
That's literally how you made your $38.3 million. It wasn't because of good movie. It's because these actors, like everyone already knows and likes, and is like, oh yeah, I'll go see Mark Duplass, and like,
Exactly. Oh, Olivia Wilde. Oh yeah, I love her. Yeah, why not? The only person no one's ever heard of is Sarah Bolger, probably, and I could be lying about that too.
Yeah, but she's been in stuff too. I forget what, but
if she's also famous, I'm be so mad at David Geld.
She's an Irish actress. Nothing. She's not anything like that. It really stands out to me. But
okay,
so we're good there. Agent Carter, a couple episodes of that back in 2016.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so nothing like that really jumps out, but
voice acting.
Yeah, a lot of voice acting. She was in BioShock 2. Anyways,
okay. So so no one's ever heard of her, but everyone else.
Everyone else. All right.
Anyway, we were talking about the budget and how much Olivia Wilde commands, and I was like, I don't know. She made House money for years, so like,
true, but $5 million.
She's probably making $50,000 an episode on House. Who knows?
Yeah, this feels like a calling in a favor kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree.
Anyways, let's move along. So here we are in China IL, internationally large.
Mm-hmm.
Rotten Tomatoes 15% audience, 23%. Oh, I'm sorry, 50% critic, 23%.
Which, in retrospect, like, I think the critics were a little cruel here. I think this deserves better than 15.
Like what, 20%?
Maybe 25? I don't know. Like,
okay.
The acting's good. The chemistry's good. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just not a good movie.
It's just bad. Yes. It's just really lazy.
Lazy is a good way to describe it. It's just kind of there and like whatever.
Yeah. But it should have been good.
It should have been. And they could have done a little more, but they just painted by numbers here. So,
yep.
All right. You want some fast facts?
Fact me, Daddy.
Did you know the name Zoe is the Greek word for life?
I hate you.
Don't hate me. I hate the internet. Yeah.
I did not.
That? Well.
Yeah. But speaking of Greek, I watched Percy Jackson, the TV series, right after this. I didn't even know. So many connections.
Is there a China, Illinois, and Percy Jackson?
There is actually. Yeah. They go through. It's a quest. It's a whole thing.
We're stretching out the fast section because there aren't many. The potato chips in the film are the fictional Let's Potato Chips.
God damn it.
Which are also found in the TV show Community, which stars Donald Glover.
No way.
Yeah, so Let's Potato Chips. I like that. We should pay attention to Let's Potato Chips. Maybe that's like running thing in like different shows and stuff like that? I don't know.
I like that. Maybe only in Donald Glover things.
So Clay and Nico, that's Peter Evans and Donald Glover's characters. They're playing a board game in an early scene. I thought they were actually playing Uno. I was totally wrong.
Yeah,
they're playing a board game. I love how this is written. A board game in an early scene called Settlers of Catan. Like, yeah, we all know what Settlers of Catan is. Like, everyone's come on, let's relax, right?
Yeah, I went to college too.
Yeah, but Settlers of Catan, as fans of that game know, minimum number of players is 3. You can't play that game with 2 people. So more of a goof than it is a fast fact, but more of a fast fact of like, if you're going to buy Settlers of Catan, make sure you have at least 2 friends.
That's right.
Right. So.
Maybe they were playing with the dog.
Oh, right. The dog, because he's psychic now.
Mm-hmm. I would assume.
That's actually it that I have for fast facts. That's the fastest we've ever done.
I got one bonus one for you.
Oh, boy. You know I love bonies.
Yeah. So I read, like I said earlier, I was reading a bunch of interviews trying to find any fast facts we could scrape together. And some of them were funny, like the director's one where he's like, oh, these up and coming stars, like, can't wait to see them really take off. But the one with Olivia Wilde was also interesting because apparently this is something she's known for, and this like made me laugh. So I'm just going to read her quote.
Yeah.
Even for a movie like this, I tend to get really analytical with the material. My nickname on a few films has been the Logic Police. Even with this film, where logic seemingly shouldn't count, I still held everyone to the rules we established. That's how I view films. When I watch something, I'll buy anything as long as it's consistent with the rules you lay out.
Oh my God. All right, Olivia, let's just settle down.
Which I appreciate, but also what a ridiculous thing to say about this movie. There are no rules.
It's
like,
a horror.
She's like pulling people into dream worlds, and like it goes off the rails immediately.
Like the logic is out the window. So
yes.
Actors. All right.
The Logic Police, Olivia Wilde.
I can't wait till we get our starring role and we have to be like, yeah, you know what we did for this. I mean, we prepared so hard for this movie and we want to make sure logic made sense and, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we're on a movie set and we have cool movie set nicknames like the Logic Police.
Yeah, right. That'll be us. The Logic Police.
Yep. Hey, this doesn't make sense, guys.
This continuity wise, this doesn't make sense right now. Okay, settle down. It's a movie. It's all fake. Make fake believe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that it? That's the fastest fast facts we've ever had. Yeah, they were kind of lame. I did some digging too, and I didn't find anything else. But so
same. We did the best we could, listeners. It's all for you.
It's all for you. We did our best. You want to Hollywood pitch me, motherfucker?
Yeah. I went a little lazier than I usually do.
This
but
is going to be
some wishful thinking. Right?
I think our Hollywood pitches are going to be a little off the walls here. But go for it.
Yeah,
pitch me.
So this movie's obviously Splice meets Kira,
Ugh, you went so lazy.
Thank you.
God.
So you've seen both of these?
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe not Akira. I think I've definitely seen Splice, but not Akira. But it's been a long
Okay.
time.
So you remember Splice, Adrian Brody, other people that I don't know.
Yeah. The nose of
Um,
Hollywood. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. The nose of Hollywood. Uh, so sci-fi horror movie. Lots of things in common with this one. This was a little lazy. You're right. So
It's all right.
there's a science couple who are just like this movie,
Yep. Yep. Okay.
doing crimes against nature, just like this movie.
That's classic move, right? Like,
Yep. In Splice, you'll remember they were trying to splice a human animal hybrid together.
That's right. And then it went terribly wrong. Right.
That's right. With like earthworms, kind of like giant earthworm.
Yeah.
It was very stupid.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not a safety tip, but just don't do that.
Just don't do that. Yeah. Also, like Splice somehow is like 75% of Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't remember liking the movie that much because it gets weird.
Yeah, 75%. That seems aggressive, but okay, all right.
Yeah. So in that one, it's the abomination that they create that ends up killing everyone, basically.
Yeah, which classic move, right?
Except for it does follow the same kind of like final girl trope, sort of. Like this one sort of does, and then takes away. Well, no.
No.
It kind of Olivia Wilde.
She's the final girl, technically, right?
Yep.
So you got that.
Basically the same in that regard. I mean, Elsa in Splice is kind of the monster, really, because she's the one who uses her own DNA to create this abomination in the first place. So, like, if you think about it, her surviving, and that's after she gets raped by her daughter at the end, and is pregnant with the child. Remember?
Gracious, yeah.
Remember?
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Splice was fucked.
next level. Okay, right.
Yeah, kind of like this movie where they're like showing like the next generation of monsters. At the end there, she brings back Mark Duplass and
I want to be
presumably the rest of the team.
The end of this movie is terrible.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
You want to punch it in the face. It's not even a movie.
Yep. But yeah, it's basically the same movie, more or less, right?
Yeah. Sure.
And Akira, also, I would say more or less the same movie. So that famous anime from the 80s, the late 80s.
Yep.
If you remember, pretty similar actually in a lot of ways. One being the core premise of Akira is like there's a unscrupulous research team that is doing research into these like into this possible psychic powers that people might have. And they like unlock that extra 90% of the brain to do like just like in this movie.
I hated that so much.
Yep. Like, oh my God, she's using 100% of her brain for the first time.
So stupid. God damn it.
She's doing things her brain wasn't designed to do. Which is kind of the premise of Akira. And then the wishful thinking side of things. So in Akira, at the end, spoilers, for a 35-year-old movie, the main character destroys, the main character who is not Akira.
Yeah.
It's Tetsuo. Destroys Tokyo. Well, destroys Tokyo again.
Right.
After it got destroyed by Akira the first time, right?
Right. That tracks.
And kind of like births a new universe, which I was hoping that this movie would go that extreme. Like at the end of this one, she like, I don't know. And I think that's what I hate the most about this movie, because it gets so close a couple times where you're like, wait a second, are they in hell? Like, are we doing like a weird, cool, like Doom, let's go to hell thing? Because I can be down for that.
Drag me to hell type of thing. Yeah, no, they don't do that.
But they try, like they get close and then they back away from. I wish that this had like opened up a new hell universe, and like that's how you make a sequel, right?
Yeah, Helliverse. Let's go, Helliverse.
Yeah. So anyway,
okay,
that's my pitch.
All right. Well, we're gonna be short and sweet here, I think, with our pitches. I think this whole thing's gonna be short and sweet, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're totally right.
So I don't know what I'm doing right now, but I'm gonna say it's Rocky meets single white female.
Makes perfect sense.
So, Rocky 1, Okay, throw it out there. R.I.P. Apollo Creed. Carl Weathers passed away. I'm not sure if you saw that, right?
Yeah, what a downer.
That's mostly why I brought up Rocky. But yeah,
no, this whole episode is a tribute to Carl Weathers. That's
absolutely.
right.
In memoriam of Carl Weathers. We'll put it at the end. Carl Weathers, because no one cares what we have to say. But you know what I mean? Like, we didn't know him. We wish we knew him, but we only knew him through his great movies. So yeah,
that's right.
Bummer. 76, by the way. Like,
just a young man.
Yeah. 76. I didn't see that. I didn't think he was that old. He doesn't look that old. So,
no, he looks great.
The sad part is the last thing I saw him in was in a commercial for like FanDuel or something like that with Gronk. That
sounds right.
That's the last thing I saw of it. Anyways, so I'm going Rocky meets single white female, mostly Rocky to say, you know, rest in peace, Apollo Creed, rest in peace, R.I.P., whatever. But Rocky, there's actually a lot of connections here.
Yeah. No. Start with them.
Not a lot, maybe just a couple.
No, I think you're on the right track.
So Rocky, a story of underdog, right? Underdog story. Mm-hmm. This crew, underdog crew, research crew, kind of like pulling it together. Big Pharma, right? Underdogs and Big Pharma, right?
Yep.
So we get a little underdog story there. We got a protagonist that won't give up. Rocky won't give up. He's just going to keep fighting, right? In this one, Frank, short for Frankenstein, right? He's like, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to bring her back. Like, I need her to come back, right? So you get that. Come back. And both movies made a lot of money off a small budget.
That's true too.
They don't take place. Both take place in the same place. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I got for that, right?
Both movies have a character named Rocky.
Wow.
I thought that's why you picked it. Because Rocky the dog, who's named after Rocky Balboa.
Wow. Sometimes I say things and I don't even know that they have extra meanings there.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
God.
That's great. Look at that. Chicago IL or China IL.
That was the obvious one.
I didn't.
Because at one point Mark Duplass says, "Oh yeah, a real underdog, like the ultimate underdog." Like we are. Like,
I'm a little hungover, so hey.
Oh my God. When you started your pitch with, underdog story, I was like, oh right, like Mark Duplass says in the movie.
Hey, sometimes things just work out great. So.
Oh my God. Hey, go into the next one. I don't have anything to help you with for the next one, so you're on your own.
Single white female is my go-to for any time I don't know how to match up, or I'm just being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is more of a wishful thinking thing where I think, well, all right, hold on, single white female, here we go. Olivia Wilde's character at the end, she's a single white female. That's
right. Well, is she single? You have to debate the merits of bringing your dead husband or your dead fiance back to life.
Damn it. Well, she can do whatever she wants. She decides to do that. But there's a moment where she's
still engaged.
She ditched the ring a long time ago. There's a moment where she is a single white female. And I think at the end of the day, I think she wants to be a single white female. So I think that's another connection, right? Like at the end of the day, she's like, he's he just wants to chop me up on a table there, right? And
and there
I want to be a single white female.
Oh, sorry. That was a connection I had with Akira also. Akira ends up chopped up in a lab and studied, like they said.
I forgot the dog name was Rocky. I even said it. Up here. Kato.
I know. Rocky. Incredible.
I love that I picked this movie not even thinking. I picked Rocky not even thinking about the dog at all. And the line said in the movie. And it's still
incredible. Truly incredible. I can't believe this is happening.
Hey, China ILL, China IL. Illinois. Grow up. All right. What else I got for single white female? I don't think I have anything else.
I feel like
what do you got?
I feel like she kind of wanted to be like Eva.
She did because there is a moment early on where they're talking about how
how hot she is,
and Frankenstein here, we'll call him Frankenstein for short.
Probably, yeah.
he's like I don't know, she's kind of hot, whatever, and she's like, no, get out of here. And I think there's a little jealousy thing going on there. She's like, maybe I'll wear your. Oh, you know what? They end up wearing the same like top too when they right.
Oh.
Ava wears the same top to like show that she's not wearing a cross because that was the worst setup payoff in the world. I hated it, but right. So yeah, she wants to be Ava because Frankenstein finds Ava, the young intern, to be hot.
A tale as old as time.
Right?
So I think you nailed it. Great pitch.
Nailed it. And I didn't even know Rocky the dog.
Truly mind-boggling.
Yeah, that is mind-boggling. I am definitely not firing on all the cylinders today. So there you go.
Perfect for a podcast.
Yep, perfect for a podcast. Wait for me to mispronounce more things like China IL. Sometimes you have to spell things out, and then that's what you do, right?
That's right.
Don't just assume it's Illinois, because there is no China. There is no China, Illinois. There isn't. It doesn't exist.
That's right.
It's made up. So you know what? It's also made up. IL.
Yeah, Illinois, fake. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. Has anyone actually been there? No, doubt it.
No one has.
No, Illinois.
Yeah, kind of stayed as a silent S.
Ugh, lame. Ugh.
Massachusetts, you say all the S's.
you say all the consonants. You say all the vowels.
So many S's.
Oh, it's all there. Massachusetts. All right, well, that's cool. That's fun. We did good there, I think. Great pitch, man. Nice job.
Thanks. You too.
Hey, you know what? Thanks for backing me up there.
I got you
with the Rocky the dog thing, which I completely.
Oh my god!
I'm not even sure I actually watched this movie.
I'm not sure you did either.
We shall find out now. Okay, I think that's it. So you want to tear this thing apart?
Let's do it.
Oh man! All right. So the opening.
I have a feeling we're gonna cruise through this.
Yeah, I think so too. Because there's not much happening. I mean, it's an hour and 23 minutes, so we should crank. So
yep.
Listeners, that's a promise to you.
Yep.
You already know how long this is going to be because but we don't know right now. But yeah. All right. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's tear this apart. So the opening production house. It's long, and they're all because you got to extend that hour and 23 minutes, right?
Yeah, they definitely waste about 5 minutes at the beginning here.
Like all these groups get their full animation logos and everything, right? So you get Relativity, which takes forever. Forever. That's a long one. They must have put in so much money.
Yep. Blumhouse.
Yeah, they get this super long, heavy breathing, creepy intro thing, whatever, and then Mosaic also gets a long one too. So
yeah, and they I feel like they borrowed the PlayStation sound.
Yeah, I just saw you wrote. I saw you noted that. I was like, yeah, you were actually right. I think they definitely did. So anyways,
screw you, Mosaic.
Yeah.
Grow up.
All right. So then the opening, we got so they do this thing throughout this movie with cameras,
security cameras.
Yeah. They got security cameras plus. And they make it very known, right, early on. So you got security cameras, the CCTV stuff, and then you got the actual handheld cameras, almost like a found footage kind of thing. They're trying to toy with that line.
Totally.
But it doesn't really pay off all that well in this movie at all.
Nope, never.
Yeah, right?
It's inconsequential. Every time they do a shot like this, nothing related to the plot happens.
Yeah, and it's I don't get they set up, they make it so apparent they're setting up this secondary camera within a camera setup, but they don't really pay it off. There's no scene where oh man, the handheld camera drops on the floor and you're watching that's a good J.J. Abrams move, right? Where the camera drops on the floor and you're watching the scene through the handheld camera and you don't see the actual craziness, but you see it through you know what I mean?
Yeah, classic Cloverfield.
Yeah, do that. Give us that. That's fun.
Nope.
So anyways, they got science stuff happening to a pig. They got a pig on the table, right?
Yep. It looks like the dog from the trailer that we're going to get to in a couple minutes, but same principle.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't work, obviously.
And they're just doing a bunch of science talk. And then we got a view from a black and white camera, video camera, right? And we get our first
talking about gigahertz on the amygdala. I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's so annoying, this science in this. It's none of you actors actually know what you're talking about.
Increase the omega.
Yeah. Shut up. Stop doing this. Stop trying to make it sound like it's you know what you're talking about.
Yep.
It's so annoying because all this movie is just splices of, I think, give a little hit there. Splices of that and science talk and then jump scares. That's all this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got our first one. I actually started tracking the jump scares. There's I think 14 or 15 jump scares in this movie.
Oh wow, none of them worked on me.
Nope. I was oh, okay.
I was oh, I bet this is gonna be a jump scare. Oh yeah, it was.
You can feel it like coming. You're like, okay.
Yep.
So we get our first jump scare where they're videotaping the pig and they're trying to bring it back, and the pig squeals and it jumps off the table, man. And but then
it's dead again.
Yeah, so.
And then 5 more minutes of credits.
Yeah, and the credits are basically a Nine Inch Nails video.
Yeah, it's like blood and guts, but like super close up.
Yeah,
like macro camera, like whatever.
Yeah,
stupid.
Yeah, it's a Nine Inch Nails video basically. And we get title card Lazarus Effect, and then we get the campus.
Feels like 2005, not 2015.
Yes, agreed. Definitely. And then we get our campus transition shot from the trailer. And we get the shot from the trailer of Olivia Wilde's character, Zoe, walking in with Ava, who's going to school on the campus. I don't know if she's an intern, but she's whatever. She's
grad student maybe, or who knows.
Yeah, the very obvious final girl supposed to be kind of thing set up. Yep.
And then we more credits.
More credits. And we meet Nico and Clay right off the bat. Donald Glover and Peter Evans.
Yep.
I was gonna say Evans. I was gonna say Evans Peter, but that's not right.
I mean, it could be. We've been known to
imagine if your name was Evans Peter.
Evans Peter. That'd be pretty funny.
That's goofy. All right, so then we're in the lab. We're down in the lab, which basically this entire movie, other than there's apartment shots, but you go to their apartment. It's just this takes place entirely in the lab, pretty much. I'd say 80% of the movie is just in this space. So
at least, yeah.
Keep that cost low.
Yep, exactly. And meanwhile, Ava is like setting up cameras. They kind of explain that she's filming something about the project, and Zoe is like, well, we need a confidentiality agreement because of the grant. Like, this is where they set up the grant.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
From whatever corporation that I don't care. Doesn't matter.
It's big pharma.
It's a small pharma. I think small pharma.
well, actually, they're actually funded by a biotech company, and then that biotech company's shares get out. Like their controlling shares get bought out by big pharma, because big pharma. Come on, guys, we've said this before. Big pharma always wins, right?
Always wins.
Their shares get bought out by big pharma. Big pharma comes in as the villain later on. We'll get there, but yeah.
So this is the setup for that. And she's filming them. And so that's when now we cut to the introductions.
Yes. Frank and Zoe.
Frank Walton.
Frankenstein and Zoe doing their, like, we're researchers. Clearly they're having fun. They're like, happy, go. Yeah. Hey,
Yep. 5 minutes of exposition about how everything works.
Pretty much.
The Lazarus serum, you inject the serum into the brain, and then you hope for the best.
Yeah, and it's kind of like intercut with like Ava doing like editing of the video, right? And we cut to like her editing the video and seeing Frank do his like total exposition about like the project, blah blah blah, and it's all stuff from the trailer. Actually, it's funny now watching this movie. Like the trailer, kind of wild, is like almost like 1/16 of the film, and it covers pretty much everything.
All of it. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, so science stuff, a lot of pulse array said many times. There's a lot of science words are thrown out. Pulse array is thrown out there a lot. DMT, we're going to hear that a lot. DMT.
Yeah, we'll get to DMT. Yep.
A lot. Serum, the good old fashioned serum. So, yep.
Yep. And basically that's when Frank explains the premise here of like trying to give the reason why we're doing this is not to bring people back to life, which the trailer, I don't think they said that exactly like it. Right?
It's called the Lazarus Project. You know what that means, right, Frank?
Yeah. He's like, no, it's to give healthcare professionals more time to do their jobs and like giving people the second chance they deserve. Like, we're trying to extend life for a few minutes, which, to the logic police, Olivia Wilde's point of like, all right, ground it somewhat in reality. Like, that makes sense. You're trying to extend the time that people can, do operations and shit.
Right. Yeah. I also got to say, like, there's this midway through the movie, there's this argument between Frank and Zoe, and they've had this conversation back and forth. Zoe's obviously religious, Catholic, schoolgirl, whatever, blah, blah, and we'll get to that. And then Frank is like all science.
Yep.
Why would Frank agree to call it the Lazarus Project? Like, Frank, a little bit about the Bible,
Yeah.
Why would you? Anyways,
yeah,
I just call it.
It's stupid.
God damn it, Frankenstein. But yeah, so he's given healthcare professional, blah blah. Saves, given the extra time to save some life, whatever. No long term effects, and then give him the second chance they deserve. And then there's this like long hold on Frank, kind of like looking like apprehensive or something. He's just kind of like, I'm not sure if I believe what I actually am saying.
Exactly.
Anyway, so then we're in the cafeteria. We got Nico and Clay. I thought they're playing Uno. They're not. They're playing Settlers of Catan, which you can't play with just two people. So figure that out.
And Eva wants cell service. She's like, hey, you guys know where I can get some cell service? I don't have any in the lab here.
Great way to like call out that we can't call out for help. I hate that.
Yeah. And Evans Peter's like, oh, documentary girl's hot, huh?
Yeah.
And like I hate this part.
I don't get this at all because it doesn't pay off later at all, really.
Well,
I mean, does it?
It does in that you're talking about
Nico.
Donald Glover's character. Yeah, Nico.
Yeah.
And he's like, she's all right. And you're like, I think it's because he has a crush on Zoe.
He definitely does. And he cuts over. They cuts over to her and he's like, yeah, but, and Evans Peter's like,
it's stupid.
Yeah. But it doesn't really, does it pay off later? Like this whole setup of like him having like a thing for like they have a conversation later on, which doesn't do anything though.
At one point, and like it pays off kind of.
But you don't need to do all this for that to happen. No. Like she could just been like, I need you, blah blah blah.
Meaningless. Yep, I agree.
Okay. And then we're in the lab office and we got Frank and Zoe. They're joking about how hot Ava is, right?
Yep.
And Frank's
like, but I love you.
Yeah, that's
which
good save.
Mm-hmm.
Good save, bro.
Yeah, and apparently that was something that I found in the interviews with Mark Duplass. Was like, I guess a lot of the lines between Frank and Zoe are improvised. They're just like having like trying to do relationship chemistry kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
which I get.
It comes across like they seem like a happy couple doing their thing, right?
Totally. Yeah.
I can see that. And then we're in the lab still, and we got Zoe doing science stuff with some opera, classical music going on, which
seems like it's after hours because like we're gonna get a bunch of lights turning off in a second here. Yeah,
which by the way, like it feels like all the science they do is after hours because all the lights are always off. It's always dark in there. Like I think most labs are just like lights are on. You need to see stuff. You need to see what's going on. So
I think so.
Yeah,
but the premise is this is an unsanctioned experiments is what they're doing.
Yes. So of course we got the opera classical music playing, which I don't think I could work to opera. That's too much for me.
No, it's annoying. Yeah.
It's just to show like, oh, she's smart and she listens to opera and this is obnoxious character development. But then we see the lab is empty, right? Like they cut to all the security cameras. I was like, oh, I wonder if this will come back.
They foreshadowed. You would think.
I was like, right. I was like, oh, maybe this will come back because they keep showing all these cameras and like, nope.
Yep.
It doesn't.
Never. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, thanks for tricking me, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the music cuts out.
Speaking
of tricks, right? And then the music cuts out, and we get our second jump scare, and Nico scares her with a pig face mask. Which why do you have that?
Yeah. Dumb. They like show it like the needle comes off the record and there's like a shadowy figure in the background behind Zoe and you're like, whoa, it's going to start that early. Nope, it's just Nico in a pig mask. Yeah, delivering sushi in a pig mask like you do.
I mean, that's what I've done that to you before. I think I've delivered sushi to you in a pig mask.
If I had a nickel,
you'd have two because I've done it twice. I've done it twice to you.
Yep. Didn't expect it the first time. The second time I did.
Yeah. First time jump scare. I was like, whoa, hey buddy, don't worry about it. I brought you sushi. Did I scare you?
Yeah.
And then Nico and Zoe have like a little talk about history and just a little history talk about themselves and
basically Dam's not an orthodontic tool.
Nico leaning in pretty heavy about how much he wants her, and it's pretty obvious, and it's like,
how are you doing with Frank?
Pretty much, right?
Yeah. He says that. That's a lot.
Yeah. Can I be frank about Frank? I'm like, okay. Okay.
Good. That's a good one.
Yeah, you see what I did there. So then we get a bunch of exposition about how this whole project took over their lives, and they were supposed to get married, and that got put off because of the research and the grant, blah, blah, blah. And
it's all about the work now.
And Nico's laying on thick, like aggressively thick. And then he's basically just like, drop to zero and get with Lando, right? So
that's right. And as a quick aside, speaking of how handsome Donald Glover is, this is when Thais was like, she is 10 years older than him and this does not play up.
Doesn't track.
It doesn't track. And then we spent a good 2 minutes Googling while I paused, and it turns out Olivia Wilde is a year younger than Donald Glover.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Because like in this movie, she looks definitely older than him. Like I would think like he's like in his 20s and she's in her 30s. Like that's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like. But this is when they talk about being in college together and whatever else, and like they're old friends. And that's when Tyson was like, "No way, she's 10 years older." The direct quote was, "She looks like an old hag."
That's a little harsh. I don't know about that, but
I know, brutal. I know.
No, jeez, I don't know.
And I was like, "Nope, she's a year younger than Donald Glover." Who knew? Now, Mark Duplass is actually 10 years older than Olivia Wilde.
that tracks. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
all right, hey, fun. The things you learn when you Google, right?
That's right. Now we get a classic bed from the trailer, fake sleeping poorly.
And this is the setup for the nightmare that's going to play out through the rest of the movie and kind of her backstory, right? So she's fake sleeping. The
nightmare before Christmas.
Yeah, nightmare before Christmas. She's having a nightmare. And we cut between her sleeping and fake sleeping in the nightmare, right? And it's all stuff from the trailer. It's just we got the dolls on fire. And they're purposely kind of making it jagged, so you like, oh, what are these all got to come together at some point, right? And we got kids trapped under a door, and we got smoke coming from out, and the creepy hands come out. It's all from the trailer.
Yep. And so she's like holding her cross while she's sleeping.
Yeah, because of course, right?
We're gonna play that up a lot.
Yeah, which doesn't even it kind of doesn't, I don't know, it's stupid, but and she snaps awake from her nightmare and she's like, yeah, I'm back, baby.
More cross touching. She's a lot in the scene.
There's a close up of the cross around her neck because she's one of those scientists who's like, oh, I'm a scientist who's bringing people back from the dead, but I also believe in God and all this, and you would think that would require big answers. And then we get Frank coming and be like, hey babe.
Hey, lady.
Hey, babe. How you doing, babe?
Same dream.
Same dream. Same nightmare, babe.
Same dream. How you murdered that family?
You definitely did as a little kid when you lit that match. Mm-hmm. Goodness gracious almighty. All right, so now we're back at the lab, right?
Yep.
And we got like a cool spinning green thing on the screen, which
I'd watch 80 minutes of that.
Me too. I was like, this is cool.
This is cool, yeah.
And much more science talk with a bunch of actors pretending like they know what they're talking about.
I love the exchanges between Zoe and Clay are funny. Like, what did I say about smoking in here? And he's like, that it's awesome. Because he's like vaping in the lab the whole time, which Evan's come back to haunt him later.
Evan's Peter character, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's a good idea.
He does have a good idea. He's got a solution, and the team is pumped. Yeah, he's like, oh, what if we increase the reflection rate of the blah blah blah? And they're like, wait a second, I think that actually might work.
That's when he's like, wait, do I got shit on my face?
And they're like, no, you got an answer. And team's
no,
pumped.
You had a good idea. Yeah, for once.
Then we got a lot of back and forth, like the handheld cameras in the movie, which I thought was going to be like, again, it doesn't pay off at all. Like they set this thing up, like you're so focused on this, but they don't do it. And then it's
the dog scene.
It's all stuff from the trailer. Yeah. Dog scene. Like literally everything that's in the trailer this moment is, we could probably just cruise through this. There's nothing. So actually the one important thing is when they're going to bring the dog back, the only important thing about this is like Zoe's the one who's flipping the big switch, because obviously you have to have a big switch.
Yep. She
takes off her cross and they do a close up of her taking off her necklaces, because you don't want I assume she doesn't want the metal because she's touching blah, 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 and she's firing up things, right?
Right.
They clearly show her taking this off and putting it in a petri dish off to the side and then flipping the switch, which is like, I wonder if this is going to come back later.
Yeah, which like does. I don't think Silver's that good of a conductor.
Great question. Not sure. Mm-hmm. We got any science
listeners?
Yeah,
yeah.
Hit us up.
Let us know.
Is silver a good conductor of electricity?
Yeah. Would it matter if you were flipping a switch that should be grounded?
Right.
I think when you turn on switches in labs, like it's okay to wear jewelry. Unless you're like, it's an MRI machine or something, which it's not.
Right. So yeah, they do a close up of that, which is just like really not thick. And then they zap the dog a couple times. Again, all from the trailer. And then same stuff. Nico's like, oh man, maybe if we increase the blah, blah, blah.
Jump scare. Yep.
Yeah. Jump scare number 3 or 4. I think at this point, dog's all fired up. But everyone's like, yeah, crazy. Dog's okay. Cataracts are gone.
Yeah, like 6 minutes in and he's golden. I'm like, he's not a golden. That's
No.
like some kind of a shepherd mix.
Yeah, that's a shepherd mix. Yeah, he's like a pit bull shepherd thing. Golden. And then they celebrate with champagne because they brought a dog back to life.
Yeah, which I was like, oh, you just keep lab champagne around just in case, I guess.
Hey, you always got to keep it on. Got to keep it on. Keep it chilled, right?
There's one thing I've learned about working in an office. It's always keep champagne around.
Now, there's one thing so then we cut to home. We cut to their apartment, right?
Yeah, well, quick security camera transition.
Oh, right. That doesn't really pay off later at all. And then so they bring the dog home, which seems not the right thing to do. I don't know.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm gonna go as not a scientist, but I'm gonna say if you just brought something back to life, you probably want to leave it at the lab in a kennel. Just
in case.
Yeah, and hooked up to monitoring of some sort, right?
One would think. If you were doing science.
If you're doing proper science. But
right.
we're no Scientologists here. Oh, we're not. We're definitely
not. Correct.
Scientologists. So they're hanging out with the dog. Dog doesn't want water. Dog's just kind of like, I'm fine. But I was like, yeah, you just brought this dog back to life. Leave it in a kennel. Leave it at the lab. I mean, that's what they do in real life. They leave the animals at the lab. You don't bring them home.
That's right. Nope.
And then all stuff in the trailer. Big questions, big answers.
Trying to feed him. Rocky doesn't want food. He's like not interested in any food. And Frank's just like, he's just in shock. He'll be good to go in a few days, I'm sure. And Zoe's like, I don't know. What if we took him out of doggy heaven? And Frank's like, what, 2 glasses of wine and you get all Catholic on me? We're going to help a lot of people with this, babe. Don't pay attention, babe. It'll be fine, babe.
It'll be fine, babe. And just like laying into like how, I hate this.
Trust me. And that's where, I guess, from the interview that I read with Mark Duplass, he was like, I guess in the script, this character Frank was supposed to be like more of an asshole. And you see like flashes of it, glimpses of it here and there, but like I think just Mark Duplass like just made him be a more personable character because I don't think he can play that.
I don't think he can either. I agree. Like maybe poor casting because like I don't know. Like like he should be the Frankenstein character. He should be the one who's like obsessed and like. Right. But it doesn't really come across all that well. So,
agreed.
We'll ameliorate about that later. So then we're still at home later, right? Frank's working late, right? And then the dog's still laying down. Zoe's fake sleeping again. And this is all from the trailer. And then the door opens up creepily, and then all of a sudden the dog's on top of her, and then that's it.
Nothing happens. Yep.
Nothing happens. Dog's take the dog out for a walk. That's all it means. So.
Yep.
And then we're back to the lab. Rocky Balboa ain't having it.
There's an argument between Clay and Nico about whether or not the dog has memories. And he's like, dogs don't have memories. They have associations.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, thanks for being pedantic, Clay.
Yeah. And they literally walk away just to have the setup between Frank mansplaining DMT to Zoe, Ava. Ava. And then we get the whole conversation of what you see when you die.
Right.
Frank's like,
the big white light. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Zoe's like, well, I think it's more religious and more spiritual. Energy doesn't blah, blah, blah. And like they have this back and forth science conversation, science, religion, what happens when you die type of thing. So.
Yep. And Eva is convinced by Zoe.
Yes.
Like, you know what? Maybe there is something spiritual here. And Zoe's whole premise is the DMT helps open the door for your soul to pass through. And that's the real function. Maybe. Who knows?
That's bullshit.
We can't know.
So then we're at the lab brain scan. We're doing a little brain scan.
Dog's in the MRI, and HDR looks good, but there's still serum in his blood.
Crazy activity going on. And this dog, like, basically to spell it out for you, like after they do some science talk, is like, basically this dog can go Cujo you at any moment. Then again, so he's like, yeah, this dog can go Cujo you at any moment. And like literally like the next couple scenes, like the dog is back at the house. Like, why would you keep...
Well, not yet. The dog's in the lab still, and the dog.
No. But I'm saying, but through the rest of the movie, though,
afterwards,
through the rest of the movie, like they keep bringing the dog home and like taking him in and out. It's like,
yes,
all right,
yes, you're right. And no one cares at all.
Nope.
Then we cut to slightly later on in the lab with Cujo's in the little kennel here, and Clay's listening to some soft jazz.
Yeah.
And he's like vaping still in the lab as always, blowing it in the dog's face. Not cool.
Not cool. Not cool.
Hanging out on his computer.
You deserve what you're gonna get.
There's a loud bang that happens.
Oh my God. I hate this.
So he goes back into the room where Cujo is, and it turns out the fridge is like all cleared out and empty now. There's like stuff all over the room, and the dog is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking for Rocky.
Yep.
And we get the classic creepy table look, like the sheet is draped over it so you can't see what's underneath it. And he's like, oh, creepy dog must be under the creepy table. Pulls up the sheet. There's nothing there until we look up and see the dog on top of the table.
Gotcha. Jump scare number 4 or 5, I think, at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, I don't know why there's no lights on in this lab. Like you would think you're in like the basement. Just turn all the lights on. That lights would be on.
Silly. Just silly.
Don't worry about it. The college is paying for it. Some kid's tuition upstairs is paying for the lights. Just put the lights on.
It's not your electric bill. Yeah.
No one cares. So then Rocky's growling in his face. And then we cut back to the team is like, oh, what happened? Blah, blah. And like, one thing comes out, it was like, Ava's like, wait a second. The bag of the potato chips, people's potato chips, where it is, that was on the top shelf. How did the dog get up there?
Yeah. And everyone's like, stupid. Probably just did dog stuff, you dummy. Like,
yeah, get out of here.
And Clay's
Ava.
like, guys, we should put this dog down. And they're like, no. Rocky's just doing Rocky stuff. It'll be fine.
Clay is the voice of reason throughout the, like that one character is like the voice of reason. And like, no, don't do that. No, the audience is like, yeah, put this dog down, dude. We know what's going to happen. So
Ava's the voice of suspicion and Clay is the voice of reason. And then no one else like really has a role.
Yeah, just like they're just making stupid decisions and making things happen.
Yeah. The rest of the movie just happens to the rest of them.
So we're doing some lab science stuff, and Frank doing more exposition about Rocky, what's happening to him, what will happen
at home now. He's like in front of the computer at home.
Basically, he's describing all the things that will happen to Zoe later on. More science talk, more neural activity, new pathways, aggression, confusion, blah blah blah. Because he's doing like the video camera like recording, recorded session. And then we get a mild jump scare where Zoe sneaks up on Frank. Okay.
It's stupid. And she's like, come to bed, babe. And he's like, in a minute, I'm doing something.
I'm doing science, babe.
And then he's like, what the hell is going on here?
And then we cut to the next day and he's coming into the lab and she's like, I'm going to go with the dog. And they have the dog still with them, which I don't understand why.
It's their pet now.
The security is like, hey, man, Dean wants to talk to you, bro.
Yeah.
Buddy.
You're in big trouble.
You big troubles. We cut to Dean's office. This was all from the trailer, maybe a little extended, but literally all the important lines are in the trailer. And immediately goes right into like the religion battle. She's like, we got people on campus who are like, blah, 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 blah.
And the donors, think of the donors.
And he goes on about scientists adapting and great things come from mistakes. And this is why we got these things, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, someone did their research and random things.
How do you think penicillin was discovered? Like unsanctioned experiments. And you're like, well, I don't think so.
Settle down there, Frank.
Yeah, and she calls him out.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, you're playing God with animals. And then he's like, wait a second. How do you know what we're doing or what we've done? And
he literally says, what, one of your big pharma friends? Like, big pharma wins again. Who was it? Who let you on to this?
Big pharma, man. And by the way, they've got all the data. Let's do Lazarus Project Effect 2. Let's go.
Right? Yeah, totally. Right. So that's when we cut to outside and we see people in jumpsuits. They're like getting ready. Big pharma.
Yeah, it's big pharma in disguise.
And then basically they all file into the lab and, they're pulling all the hard drives and get all the data and yada, yada, giving orders left and right here.
Yeah, take all the shit.
And they do a bunch of exposition about how Krylonis Pharmaceutical bought the company that gave them the grant. And that's why you're owned by us now. And like, I hope you learned a lesson. Don't do this stuff because we'll take it over.
Yeah. Because
Big Pharma always wins.
Yes. I mean, God damn it. Like, Big Pharma always wins. We know this.
Yep.
No one listening to us?
Amateurs.
All right. So we're back at the apartment, I think, the house, right?
No, I think it's just like slightly later at the lab because that's when Zoe's like, they took everything. There's a little bit of that. And then they come back to the apartment.
Okay. Right. Yeah. She's like, they took everything. And all right. So then we got Zoe grilling Ava, being like, hey, as soon as you showed up, all of a sudden, Big Pharma shows up. Who you talking to? Ava's like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
And then Frank mansplains the movie the thing that just happened to us again.
Right.
Like he says it, he's like, oh, well, you see, they bought the shares of this company and that's how they own us now. And like, okay, great. We just did this.
And like, I love how Nico's like, I can't believe someone would spend $50 million for our serum. 50 million is a drop in the bucket for what you guys are doing.
The serum to bring people back to life? Yes. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm so mad.
Like, are you stupid? What's happening here? Why are you guys so stupid? You're stupid. You're stupid scientists. I hate you.
Yep.
50 million? That's a drop in the bucket for what you're making.
To bring people back to life?
We're talking billions with a B.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden there's like this moment where the movie shifts into like this heist planning moment.
Like an Ocean's 11 thing. Yeah.
Like, right. like they're trying to break back into the lab because they've been locked out, right?
Yeah. Frank's like, we got to duplicate the experiment. We got 12 hours. We got to take back what's ours.
Literally just cute Ocean's 11. Yeah. It's like them just planning how they're going to get back in the lab. It was pretty great.
So he's like, I've got the serum.
And like,
I got the key cards. What?
And I kind of wish they like did like the heist movies where like the thing is happening that they're explaining, you know? It's like, so what we're gonna do is Ava's gonna go in like showing her like, hey, security guard. Like,
yep.
That would have just been lovely, but yeah, we didn't get that.
Nope.
So then here we are. We're back in their campus route. We're breaking in. We're breaking in back at the lab. Nighttime, because obviously night lab lights are all off because they always are. I'm just convinced there's no lights in this place. Ava gets them in, and Frank's like, "Hey, from this point on, you can get out of here, final girl. But we kind of need you because you're the final girl. So, kind of, sort of."
She's like, "I know this is important. I have to be here."
Yeah, and she's like, "I'll stay."
Okay.
Like, no, poor choice.
Oh, but seems like this is your fault now. Whatever happens to you is on you.
So yeah, we're back in the lab. Team's getting shit ready in a position. I have no clue how they can recreate all this because all their stuff was taken. So I don't know how they know. Well,
because they had the serum at home. They had a little bit. Remember?
Oh, right. That's all they needed. Right. They don't need all the other data and research they've done.
That's why they only have 12 hours because they're going to clear out the equipment and.
Right. Okay.
They explained it all. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's right. They do. No, Nico's like hacks into like weeks. He's like, their security here is so weak and like hacks into all the cameras.
Yeah. But also I was like, what are they going to do? Kill Rocky again and bring him back to no, listeners, they have a pile of dead dogs somewhere. Like we'll find out in a minute.
They definitely
nearby,
do.
Apparently.
Yeah. And there's a little meta moment where Olivia Wilde's character Zoe, she's like, "Why don't you just put the camera on loop, whatever?" And he's like, "This is a movie. I can just stop it from recording."
Right.
Okay. Well, just do that.
You're amazing, Nico. He reminds her.
Right.
To say.
So then we're at the lab table. We're back at the table, the cutting room, right? And we got
another fresh dead dog off the pile. Which I was like, if they're frozen, like they probably have to thaw. I don't know. Like I had so many questions about the dead animal supply.
I'm questioning Olivia Wilde's logic police moment here. Because,
right.
Yeah. So we got a new dog. Everything's ready. We're ready to go. And Frank is like, "Hey, we'll do the honors here."
Yep.
In the most obvious setup payoff in the world, Zoe, Olivia Wilde's character, is wearing this low cut like tank top thing. And you can very clearly see she's still wearing her cross as she's about to flip the switch.
Yep.
Which was set up earlier. She takes it off because what's about to happen?
Well, and they also they set that up, but then it seems like it's the ring that actually is the thing that does the conducting.
Yeah.
In a few minutes.
Right. But is she wearing the ring or is it on the necklace?
She's wearing the ring.
Okay.
No, she's wearing the ring.
Right.
And that's why her hand gets cooked.
Right.
And then they set it up with they have Eva like wearing a giant rubber glove after that. But you're like,
right, the next time, yeah.
So it wasn't the necklace at all, really. Like,
yeah, it was Olivia Wilde.
Anyway,
again, questioning your logic police here. Like, how good are you actually logic police? You're not
so
at all.
stupid.
Yeah. So she flips the switch and zapparoo, she gone. Lights go out. Classic. Evans Peter is like, "I didn't do it."
Yep.
And then Frank spots Zoe on the ground and she's gone. She's been electrocuted.
And they try to revive her.
We got needles to the chest. We got defibs. We got increase the voltage. We got all this sort of shit going on.
Doesn't work.
She's not coming back.
No.
No go. Moments, hours later, Frank is still sitting by her side. And this is a scene where you can clearly see Olivia Wilde still breathing.
Yep.
It's pretty bad. I can see her, her stomach and her chest still moving up and down.
And he looks at her crispy wedding ring finger there, her engagement ring.
Yeah.
And he takes the ring off.
Yep. Because, she's dead. So we're not together anymore, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Which they took the necklace off when they were trying to do the defibrillator. And I was like, they didn't take the ring off when they were doing them.
Does this make her his ex-dead fiance? Ex-dead?
I believe so, yeah.
Right? Ex-dead former fiance?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure. And then, the team's then he picks her up and he's throwing her on the table. And everyone's like, whoa, what are you doing, bro? What's your plan here? And obviously Frankenstein.
We could go to jail for this. And he's like, you think I care about jail? You're like, I don't know, maybe.
Maybe you should. I don't know.
Yeah, what? But everyone agrees this is crossing a line. And he's like, fine, then get out. And everyone's like, nah.
Because movie.
Yes. I guess we'll help.
Yeah, I guess
we're already here.
He's like, I'm not gonna lose her. Not like this. And then we can't bring a human. So this is the problem. The whole team is like, whoa, we can't bring a human life back. I'm like, isn't that the whole point? Isn't this the perfect experiment? The moment where let's just use, she'll donate her body to science. Well, she's a religious person now, so maybe she won't, but
maybe she won't. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, is that the end goal? Is to bring so the team is like, okay, fine, we'll help out. And they reluctantly help out. And we're gonna reluctantly end the episode.
We'll cliffhang you.
Will Zoe come back to life? Will the dog stay alive?
Rocky eat food finally?
Will Rocky beat Apollo Creed? Probably not.
Maybe.
We'll see. That's it. All right, so that's part 1. We'll be back. Thanks for listening. If you did, we'll be back Thursday with part 2. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram. It's This Meets That. We're ITMT Pod on Twitter. Subscribe wherever you're listening, and you can find us on YouTube as well, and share with a friend. Or share with strangers. Leave us a review. 5 stars, maybe a nice comment. Apple, Spotify, wherever you can do that. Or if you want to give us long-form feedback, if you're feeling old-fashioned, you can send us an email. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or go to the website where you can find all of our old episodes. You can find info on Russ's book Host if you haven't bought that already. Love it. Do that. There's t-shirts, there's all kinds of merch, ITMT art that you can find there. Tons of content. Check it out. It's thismeetsthat.com.